If you own a business with a partner and you've not planned properly for a catastrophe, you're going to want to watch this segment, because if you mess this up, you could have huge problems down the road. Hi, I'm Dave Nabity of Nabity Business Advisors. And if you own a company with another partner and you have not planned properly for a catastrophe, you could end up creating a huge mess down the road if something should happen. Let's say, for example, that we've got a company that's worth $5 million and it's owned by Joe and Bob, and they own the company 50-50. So Joe's estate basically would say he's got $2.5 million, and Bob's estate would say that they have $2.5 million. And that's all and good as long as everybody's alive and they're still running and operating the company. But what happens if one of them dies? What do you do? Joe's stock, the amount of stock that Joe has, is going to go down to his spouse. And Joe's wife has got 4 kids. And she's going to need every bit of that $2.5 million of value that Joe owns, because if he's gone, his paycheck's not there anymore. He's not making any more money. So there has to be some way to get this $2.5 million to Joe's wife. But what if Bob doesn't have the money to pay Joe's spouse that $2.5 million? What's he going to do? Well, one of the things he could do is he could have a note. And the note would say, basically, I'll pay Joe's family his estate over a 5 or 10 year period of time to buy out the stock. Problem is, notes aren't deductible and payments to spouses aren't tax deductible. It could create a huge cash flow for Bob and could put the company in jeopardy of not being able to succeed because they're having to pay money out that's not expensed. Now, you could always invite the wife into the business to help run and operate the company, but what if she doesn't know anything about the company? Worse yet, what if she goes and she remarries a guy who's got horns on his head and he's not too nice of a guy and he thinks he knows everything about business and he wants to come in and start looking at your books and looking at what you're doing with the company? Somebody like that could make it a living hell just to try to survive in business. So here's what you need to do. You need to have a buyout agreement. It's called a buy-sell agreement. And basically what that buy-sell agreement does is says, we're gonna fix a price and we're gonna set the terms in place, and if either one of us pass away, we're gonna have a set up plan to be able to buy out their surviving partner's family in the event that there's a premature death. Now, one of the important things to think about is having life insurance on each partner. And what you can do is you can go to an insurance company and you can get $2.5 million worth of insurance on Joe, and you can get $2.5 million worth of insurance on Bob. And what happens is when one of the partners dies, the surviving partner gets the money. So if we say that Joe is gone, the insurance company will pay the $2.5 million to Bob. Bob will turn around and give that money to the surviving spouse, and whatever stock is left will be returned to Bob. Now, one key point here that I want to make before I finish up. Sometimes people think it's a great idea to have the corporation be the beneficiary and the owners of the policy. And that can end up being a big mistake, because depending upon what type of corporation that you have, there can be alternative minimum tax on the money that comes to the corporation. If the corporation buys the stock from Joe's estate, Bob's basis will not increase by that same $2.5 million. His basis stays at whatever his cost is in the stock. But if you do the agreement so that Bob buys the stock directly from the family, his basis will go up by the $2.5 million. And that can be very, very costly down the road, because if you do that wrong and sell the company later, you could lose tons of money in taxes by setting it up the wrong way. So here's the bottom line. Our company helps business owners figure this all out. We look at helping you put together the right valuation. We look at the family dynamics, what's involved with each family. We help you design the structure of what that buyout agreement ought to look like, and we can also help you find the right insurance companies that'll fit your company's need when it comes to insuring each other and making sure you've got the money to be able to complete the buyout. If you don't have the money, like I said before, and you don't insure, you can end up having notes that could destroy the working capital of the company. So you really want to plan ahead on this, and just give me a call, send me an email, schedule an appointment, and I'll come out and just do a quick assessment on your business and see if there's any way that I can't help you. Thanks so much and have a great day.